Click. Hi, team. Welcome to the Escape Podcast for Star Wars The Old Republic. Today, we take a look at the return of gambling to Nar Shaddaa for the entire summer. Our broadcast astromech today is, of course, EPC 198. With me, as always, is Seema. Hi, Seema. How's it going?
Hey, Max. I'm totally watching this dance floor thing that we're playing on right now, and I'm like thinking I would pay all my credits to have this deco. This is awesome.
And speaking of that, we'll get into it, but I think you can have, for the low, low price of some amount of golden tickets, you get this deco. I wonder if it works in your stronghold this way.
Yeah, I wonder that too. That
Oh,
would
and the mic
be,
stand too. All right, well, we'll get to that.
yes, that would be, I really hope it works this way as a deco. But yeah, this has been a kind of a strange week. But uh, let's see, this was not strange, but on MFN night this week, on Tuesday night, we did the ILS with 16 people, and we one-shot him, which we do not always do, so that was actually awesome. Went pretty smoothly. And then we went and did the world boss outside, which is worth doing because you get a pretty good little chunk of command XP. And then we might have done him a second time because we went instance hopping shopping to find him. Um, and I think then we went and did the actual world boss on Alderaan too, the one that's in the river, standing in the river.
Oh, yeah.
So it was a fun-packed night. I really enjoyed it. We missed you though, because you were where? Somewhere away, not here.
Yes, I was in the Seattle area on business. So, yes, so that's what I was doing for most of the week. I was in Seattle, big internal conference of ours. I was presenting and talking about innovation and some of the things I do to group of audience people. But I did get back today, so I just have been scratching the surface on a few of these things. But we did have fun tonight with our regular ops group doing sort of a lair tour because we like to do
Yes.
Tithe, and so then we jumped out of Tithe and we went and did Taboro's Courtyard, and we went and did Eyeless, and then we went and did, but didn't finish, the Colossal Monolith, whatever the monolith is that's in the instance.
Right.
But that's always fun. I like having those sort of lair bosses just go in there and do a thing and not have to like clear out a whole bunch of trash. Well, for Tithe we did, but
Right.
yeah, those are cool. So they should put more of those in the game over time. But yeah, now we are here on Nar Shaddaa. I have not played a single slot machine yet. I have not started my path towards complete being completely broke and having nothing to show for it, but that will start soon. But before we get into that, why don't we talk about some other news? Because there was quite a bit of news this week, too.
Yeah.
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
So, of the things that came up in the dev tracker, we won't go into a lot of detail on all of them. In fact, we might break some of it out and do it next week as a detail segment. But first up, I know a lot of people have been waiting to at least get a preview of what kind of rewards are going to be out there for the Season 8 ranked PvP rewards. Season 8 is going to continue through the summer. It's going to finish up in that August release. But they gave the preview of, at least you can get a sense of what the types of rewards are. And then in the next few weeks, they're hoping to have pictures of what the actual PvP weapon will be and that kind of thing. So you could take a look in there, check it out, and then keep an eye out for the actual pictures and preview.
And then Eric posted the discussion topic for the week, which is he wanted to hear people's thoughts and discussions on gearing for master mode operations, and he provided two alternatives and asked what people thought about them. And the first alternative was they would do similar to the way it is now, except they would drop twice the number of drops. So any non-final bots, it would still be random what dropped, but there would just be more of them. And the second option was to leave the same number of gear drops, but add unassembled components to each bot. So you'd get the random drops, which may or may not work for your group, but also you would get unassembled components, and that would give you a chance to build towards your tier 4 set. And I read through the parts of the thread. People's responses were, of those two, that they, well, it seemed like most people liked the number 2. And you said that you like number 2 as well.
I love number 2. I say that all the time. Yes, no, option there for unassembled components on the bosses. You know, for better or for worse, that gets a little bit back towards just the basic currency like we had last time, which I think really
Yes.
wasn't as terrible of a system as they thought it was. I do like the idea of unassembled components. I think they should drop off of bosses. That's a good way to just have a just more direct way to be ranking up your pieces of gear that you want specifically. That reminds me of the suggestion that I had last week, which I still think is a good one, which is to promote open world PvP if you kill enemy players, to have them drop unassembled components as well. I think that would be really cool. Also in the news, and this is one that we'll probably talk about next week, they did open up a thread about class balance. And what they did in this thread was go into quite a bit of detail about how they go about executing on figuring out how they're going to do class balance, what the targets are based on. They talked a little bit about how it's not a comparison between classes so much as it is, here's what the target is supposed to be, and we're targeting towards, so they're almost targeting algorithmically and based on math. And then they talked about some of the classes that they're targeting in the first round and why and that kind of thing. It's quite detailed. So if you're interested in that, I'd suggest you go take a look, and maybe we'll break it down next week on the show and talk about both what they said and then our speculation of more balance changes that we expect later in the summer.
And also, let's see, this week we are having the Rackle Plague outbreak on Alderaan, and that'll go until the 20th of June. And then following that, a week later will be the Bounty Contract Week. And then we mentioned last time, but there is a double XP and double Valor event coming up July 1st. So that'll be July 1st through the 5th. And then also on the 27th, there's going to be back-end maintenance, but no patch.
So they're keeping those events rolling. They're keeping things exciting, it seems. I'm glad they're doing it. I was happy to have a chance to experience that pristine intergluteal cleft on the eyeless this week. So we got that done, and I always like when the rack will come back. Yeah, keep an eye out for the Bounty Contract Week. That's not a week though. The 27th to 11th, that's 2 weeks. I don't know if that's a typo or it'll actually be there for 2 weeks.
That seems long.
Yeah, usually
While
it's only
we talk about
1
other
week,
things.
so we'll see.
Yeah, I'll verify.
I copy pasted that. That's what they typed in their thing. I'm almost positive. So they might have typed it.
Yeah,
wrong,
that is
though.
a long time.
In guild and community news, we have a guild and there is a community.
Yeah.
And I don't have
let's
anything
see.
extra in that besides we're continuing to do stuff. What
I'll
are
just
we doing?
say this upcoming MFN will be on the imp side. And then after that, okay, I don't want to say because I got called out last time for being wrong. But I know next week is imp side.
2 weeks
I
of
think after
imp.
that will be pub side. Yeah. 2 weeks of imp and then a week of pub.
Yeah, because we did pub again this week when I was gone, didn't we?
Yeah.
So now this is 2. So this has been 4 weeks where I keep missing the pub week because I've got some sort of conflict, and I've already beefed up my Vanguard. I'm dying for him to get in there.
Yeah, that's what you say, but you somehow can't make it when it's pub night.
Yeah. Well, 2 weeks from
So
now.
you say.
So next week we'll do Imp. The week after that we'll do Imp, and then we'll do Pub again. Oh, but I have to wash my hair that night. So there's
Yes, exactly.
so
And building on that Rackle theme, Conquest this week is the Rackle Resurgence Alderaan event. Notable repeatable stuff is all the group finder things, flashpoints, ops, etc. The weekly missions for flashpoints, tacticals, uprisings, and ops. I think ops, but not sure on that. And then Warzones, GSF, and then heroics on Alderaan. So a little something for everybody there.
plenty of stuff to do, and it's still only a 20,000 point conquest personal target for conquest. So
Right.
everyone should be able to get a character or two if you're into that kind of thing. If I didn't see this in the patch notes, maybe I wasn't paying all that much attention because again I didn't look at stuff until today. But I heard, and I haven't looked at it in detail, but I heard there's an intro to conquest mission on the fleet.
Yes, there is mention. Yeah, and I actually picked it up and it completed right away before I had a chance to even read it. So I don't know what it's actually wanted me to do, but apparently I already did it.
Okay. It's got some pretty good little rewards as part of it though too, I heard.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so check that out. We'll get the details on what that is, but I think part of it includes some chips for the nightlife the nightlife event, which we'll be talking about shortly.
Yeah, and yeah. Speaking of chips, we were getting chips this week from bosses and stuff. So
That too.
I think they're just kind of dropping in. I bet they're dropping in flashpoints and tacticals and uprisings too on bosses. I mean, it wasn't a lot, but I mean, you can play a long time on 3 chips sometimes.
Yes. You feeling lucky? Punk? If you if you don't feel lucky because you don't have a good guild to join, you could come join our
Oh
guild.
my God,
You know?
that's the best segue ever.
So if you would like to join our guild, you can find guild information for our guild on aie-guild.org. You can catch any of our officers in-game when they are in-game on either side with a custom channel that we have for finding officers called AIELFO. So you type in /cjoin AIELFO on Jedi Covenant, and we will try to hook you up with a guild invite. If we're not in there, you can also check out the guild information on the main guild webpage about all the other games we are in, and somewhere in there you can find our Discord information too, so you could jump in there. And we are often in Discord even if we aren't in game, and that's a good way to track people down. And shout out to the chat room. Got a bunch of people in there. They were helping us out before the show, letting us know things like, yes, the tier 1 vendor for purchasing gear is on the fleet. So we'll talk about that in just a second too. But thanks, guys. Thanks, chat room. It is always awesome to have you guys in there, especially since we've been moving the show around and now moved it to Thursday nights, and I haven't updated all of the notes and the announcements in all the different places. So I think we're going to continue to do on Thursday nights, and I'm glad that you guys are showing up to help us out. I really appreciate that. With that, I think we can talk about we won. We can talk about some gambling.
How can you close me up? On what ground?
I'm shocked to find that gambling is going on in here.
You're winning, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. Everybody out at once.
Sir, the possibility of successfully navigating an asteroid field is approximately 3,720 to 1.
Never tell me the odds.
There's all of them. All the sounds.
Best montage ever.
Did you see this person? We're on the dance floor on Nar Shaddaa at the nightlife event, and this person popped their Sarlacc pit at the end of their dance, so it looked like they got swallowed up at the end of dancing. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Rue the Revanchist. Revanchist? How you say that? Yes. So, never tell me the odds, because I want to just put all my credits into the machine and not get a Rancor, because that's how I roll. So real quick, before we get into, when we'll go through the details on what the changes are for the Nightlife event, we'll go through some tips and tricks for the Nightlife event and what we've done so far. I did get a chance to see someone with the companion, even though I'll never get it. But first, I wanted to hit a couple highlights that showed up in the patch that came this week. I haven't had a chance to play it too much, but I knew some of these were coming. I did see a couple of them in game, but let's go through some of the things that I saw and you saw, Seema. So, do you want to kick it off? What did you see?
Um, I'm sorry, were you talking about the patch notes or?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, I
So the
did
first
see
one
the
on the
intro to
list,
Conquest.
yeah. So we talked about that one already. So the first one on the list was that Intro to
Well, I just want to
Conquest.
say that in my Grand Chance cube, I did get like a red and brown tie.
Oh yeah, that's what Corley got too. He
Yeah,
got like a
I
brown
think he
and
got like
gray
gray and
dye.
brown. Yeah.
That was a
Um, but
grand.
we should moving right along. The mailbox update. They swapped the position of the get your attachments and delete your mail buttons, and they
Yeah.
moved them a little bit farther apart from each other.
Yes, and everyone loves that, from what I've heard.
Yeah, I haven't heard anybody making any comments about that they might have almost deleted millions of credits worth of mail.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that. Apparently, whatever. 1 in 1,000 people were clicking the wrong button, even though it was pretty clear, and I never had a problem with it. So they decided, oh, we'll just shift it around. So now, 1 in 3 people is having a problem because it's changed where your muscle memory was to just click the button when you want to select all and open all. And so yes, I hope nobody's been deleting things accidentally. I think you're gonna have to submit a ticket if you do that, and hopefully don't hit the yes button when it says, are you sure you want to delete all of these, and you say yes, delete all my credits from all of my sales. Also, in the notes, we did see an update, which I appreciate, that if you're on IOCath and you're doing the dailies where you're in one of the robot forms, you can now loot. You can loot your kills when you're in
Yeah.
those forms, which I was crying about the other day because you have to throw down so many of those IOCath shards to get in an Imperial Walker, and then you march out there in the Walker and you stomp on a lot of things and you walk really, really slowly through all of the loot of all of the shards that you could be picking up to build up your next collection of shards, and you couldn't loot any of them. Unless you ejected from
But
the Walker and didn't realize that made the Walker go away and you couldn't get it back and you just lost all your shards.
but that never happened to you, I'm sure.
No, I was always, I didn't, yeah. No, yes, I was crying. I was crying about it.
So
So what
anyway,
else?
that's the solution to that. And then the new speeds are broken. So for most speeders, even if you buy the 120 to 130% increase, it's not working. It's working for the creature ones. So
Got it.
you can ride. That's the workaround for now, is just ride around on your Tauntaun. But they will be looking at fixing that for sure.
That's right. Yeah, I don't know why it still works for the creature mounts, but not for the other mounts. But they said, yes, that's now a known issue, and they will be fixing it in the next patch. So it won't be a hot fix right away, but it'll be coming soon. If you look on your character perks page under travel, that first row when you could get some improved speeder piloting, where you could get it at earlier levels, they're the two new ones are added on at the end there. So it's 600K to get speeder piloting 4, which gives you the up to 120%, I believe, and then speeder piloting 5 for 1.2 million, which gets you the 130%. Did you try it yet? Did you unlock it,
No,
Seema?
no.
But I think the speculation is you won't notice it all that much. It's only an extra 10% of speed, so we'll have to play with it.
Yeah, it is hard to perceive.
Also, in character perks, there's a new perk added. So when you do hit tier 4, that you can add a perk to allow all of the rest of your characters in your legacy to get a 25% bonus to command XP gain. I still don't think that's enough. In fact, I think it should be either something really drastic like 400%, or you should just get all your whole legacy
Right.
bounced up tiers. That just still takes forever. Although, what I think Keith is breaking the curve, and that's the problem, right? Didn't he say he had like three or four characters at command rank 300? I think that's the issue.
He's like that student in class you're saying that gets too good of grades and ruins it for everyone else.
Right, the curve breaker. We all get
Yeah.
C's because Jenny over there studied real hard and got 100. Anyway, poor
I
Jenny.
bet you were the curve breaker.
I was, and I would get done really fast with my little quiz, and I would slam my pencil down on my desk really hard, so everyone in the room knew I was done. I do remember
I
that.
totally believe that story.
Well, there was a couple of us. This is like grammar school stories that I'm thinking back to, but there was like a couple of us that would sort of compete. Us little math nerds, and whoever would get done first, they'd slam their pencil down, just like prove that they won. Yeah, good times. good times in 5th grade math.
I miss grammar school also.
What else, Seema?
Let's see. Oh, I guess when you are transformed into Tithe on IOCath, you'll now draw your weapon as intended while using sweep and energy wave. I guess the animation wasn't there, so that's fixed.
Yes, I tried to do this. Did we talk about this last week? I tried to do
don't
this.
know.
I got the Tithe control module, and I really didn't know what it did, but now it's very clear what it does. And this is what we thought it did, or this is what the rumor was. I've never seen anybody do it, though. So I took my little Tithe control module. I think I was going to do it during the show. I took my little Tithe control module. I went to the console, and I clicked on it, and I'm like, all right, here I go during the show. And it's like, you need
Oh, that's
2,500 shards. I'm like, wah, wah. So, yeah, I think I'm like, yeah, I'm at 849, and I think I may be like 5 shards further than I was last week. So I still have not assumed that my final form as Tithe yet. So I'm looking forward to
It'll
doing
happen.
that someday.
And I've done a little bit of this, but now when you send companions out on crew skill missions, they will earn influence. And when you select the crew mission in the first place, it'll tell you how much influence they're gonna get. So, yeah.
That is super cool. I'm glad. I see here right in the window it says influence plus 203. So that's not bad.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to ranking up some companions this way, because throwing I've got slicing almost on like 80% of my characters, so throwing them out there to get some tech parts, which I use to make augments anyway, it just makes a ton of sense. And then I'll have some characters that will more than the one companion that I have across my entire legacy that's 50. I will get more. Speaking of crying of shards, Zen reminds me, or made a note in the chat room, which I didn't realize. I knew there are other ways to get shards besides looting them. There's a sort of a vendor on IOCath where you can be trading in, and I would not recommend this. Trading in materials. I think it's war materials, they say. You're like trading in mats, gathered mats for shards. But he said you can buy shards on the GTN. So I guess some of the packs of shards that you loot off of people are not bound, so people must be putting those up on the GTN. So that might be a way for me to get my 2,500 shards a little bit quicker than I am. What else, Seema?
You can now craft tier 4 gear. So these are going to be artifact quality, and they'll have an item rating of 246, but no set bonus. But that's a good fill-in.
Right. Right, because you only need 6 of the 7 pieces of the main pieces for your actual set bonus. And then for things like implants and earpieces, they don't have set bonuses anyway. So I wonder if you can create the good ones, like Serendipitous Assault and Focused Retribution, or if you're like Relic of the crappy, nearly good
Ephemeral mending.
The only thing
Right.
you can get. So that's interesting. We should look that up. But here again is another way to be thinking about the approach to end game gear. It is not, I must, the only way I can do it is opening crates forever, and it's a terrible system. There are many ways to get gear, and they're continuing to increase the the rate at which the type of gear can drop and the methods for doing it, including that thread that we talked about earlier, which is not in yet, but we will we'll see what they do with that. Okay, so Nar Shaddaa Nightlife. This is an event that has been in the game twice before. It was originally in 2014, in May of 2014, and we played it quite a bit then. In fact, some of the tips and tricks that we talked about in May of 2014, you could go back and listen to that show, but we'll tell you again right now. But there are some changes this time around. So why don't we go through what some of those changes are, just to kick it off, Seema. So you
So
start.
sure.
What's the cool new prizes that I won't be getting?
There's two new prizes. There's the Vectron BWL Wraith, which is obviously a speeder, and then there's the Gamorrean bodyguard, who's a companion. He doesn't have a name. He's a companion, like an act dog, I guess. But I don't know what gifts he likes. But presumably you could send him on. Actually, can you send him on crew skills like a human, like
I
other
don't
kind
know.
of humanoid companion?
There's a question for the chat room. If he shows up as like one of the under the pet category, then the answer would be no, because none of those
Right.
under creatures. So if he's a creature, then no. If he's just which I bet is what he is. So he could be an other follower, but I bet he's a creature.
It seems like it since they didn't give him a name, or a story.
So Zen in the chat room says he can craft. So
Oh,
there
good.
you go. You can rank
Well,
him
there
up,
you
and everything he makes will taste like bacon, but he'll make things for you.
Oh my God, no.
That's gross.
You can still get the older rewards, the Kingpin Rancor and the Vectron Magnus, but you can also purchase them now with golden certificates.
Oh,
But,
so they
of
still
course,
come out
golden.
of the slot machines also?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Um,
that's another thing for me
I
to look
mean-
forward to not getting.
Also, the chips are a little bit more expensive than they used to be. You have to pay 2,000 credits for the smuggler chips, which is the lower level, the green chips, and it used to be 1K. And then the Kingpin chips are now 75K, up from 50K. So, I mean, I probably won't be buying any Kingpin chips. 'Cause
Right.
75K just sounds like way too much.
And that
and I
gets to
thought
one of our
50K
first tips, too,
Yeah, good point.
which is no one should buy those blue chips. The blue chips are what you need to get the good rewards, and you use those in the Kingpin's bounty slot machines. But what you do is you buy up green chips, you use those green chips to win blue chips, and then you take those blue chips over to the blue chip Kingpin's bounty
Right.
machines, and that's where you get the good stuff.
And while you do that, that's when somebody swoops in and gets your machine.
Right, because that's how statistics and odds work, is someone else can take your luck. That's what I learned from math.
Well, no, they take your position. Like you had like
Oh.
two machines that you were working. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, doing three to four machines is optimal to be able to click them all while one is cooling down to be able to click the next one. It's between 3 and 4. But yeah, then somebody's going to take your position because you sort of stand in between them and you click 3 or 4 at the same time.
Right. Right.
And they have been pretty busy lately. There's not a ton of people here right now, though. Maybe it's getting late.
Yeah.
All the youngsters are...
Speaking of, people in room and crowding, there are more slot machines in other parts of Nar Shaddaa. Like I found some by the Flight Master, and those are the only ones I noticed. But I don't know that they're not other places. They are, however, far enough apart so that you can't do that thing where you stand between two and click both. So I was doing this little thing where I would be like, click, and then I'd tap Q 3 times, and then click and tap E 3 times.
Wow, that's
It
a lot
was-
of work.
I know, but it was entertaining myself because it just looks kind of dorky.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was others. Are there Kingpin slot machines
Yeah.
there too?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's both
So
over
there's a
there,
whole-
yeah.
So there's at least a couple pockets. If people find them in other interesting places, like I was wondering if there was some stuck in various places on the promenade besides those barges. That'd be interesting to find. Then there's also a couple quests, a couple missions that you can get. One of them, at least, is certainly repeatable. So there's one from Yan Pengu, at least that's what the pit boss he's called on the Imperial side, who gives you a mission, a repeatable mission to use macro binoculars to check for cheating amongst the machines, and you get some little rewards for doing that. And then there's this other one with the crate. Is this just like an intro advertisement terminal? You play slot machines, you play 10 slot machines, and then you get some extra tokens,
Yeah,
including...
I guess so. Yeah, I did that one. And that one, yeah.
Is
I
that
have a tip
repeatable
on the
or
first
not?
one. I don't. I'm guessing I did it for the first time today.
Okay.
I'm guessing not though because it doesn't have a quest marker over it anymore.
And what's your
But
tip on the first one?
Don't use your regular macro binoculars
Oh.
because it kind of seems like they work, but they don't work.
Oh, I see.
And you need to use the
Why would they do
ones that you get for the quest. And it doesn't actually, or it didn't for me anyway, show up in the quest tracking thing. I kept thinking, why aren't my macro binoculars working? But then, you know how you have the missions tab in your inventory?
Yeah.
Mission items, it was in there.
Okay. Good tip. Good thing to know. I'll have to check that out when I do that little mission. A couple new achievements were added this time around as well. So there's an achievement called Party Hard, I think it's called, where you purchase the gambler's mic stand, the bar, the party floor, with golden certificates, and
Yes.
I guess you just need to purchase them, and
Right.
that is a Party Hard achievement. I think you should have to set them up in your stronghold and party on them, and that would be the achievement. Another one is another big prize, and that's winning a Vectron Wraith from a Kingpin's Bounty slot machine, and a professional contract is winning the Gamorrean bodyguard. So you'll get those along the way. Well, you will. I won't. Get them all. I'm really whiny about this, aren't I? I'm just really why? Shut up, Max. What else? So you said you could purchase. So there's more that you can purchase, though, right? You can purchase the old mounts, and then I saw there's other
Right.
things you can purchase, right?
Nightlife, Socialite armor, pearlescent cruiser. There's other decorations like the Gambler's Bar, well, you mentioned the mic stand, which is actually kind of cool. It's like a karaoke, like you click on it and then you do this like dance and sing animation. And then some ceiling lights in various colors, blue, red, and yellow. And then, of course, the party floor, which I really want. But actually, I might buy that. Yeah, I want the party floor. I have to gamble, though, don't I, to get the party floor?
4 golden certificates, it looks like.
Yeah.
I thought in my legacy storage I had a stack of golden certificates from last time around. Because, again, I put like 5 million credits in the thing and didn't get anything. Except some golden certificates.
I'm pretty sure I would have spent them if I had them because of my lack of faith that they'll
Yeah,
ever be
I
useful
did
again.
buy. I do know I have. There was a weapon, some legacy-bound weapons that you could get last time. Do they still have those this time? The light staff, the lights.
Oh yeah, they had the
sniper rifle. Yeah,
right, and the pistol, and
yeah.
I
Okay.
assume they do.
So it looks like a lot of those. Yeah, the blaster rifle.
Yep.
So these are like the gangster-themed weapons. Looks like an old Tommy gun is the blaster rifle. Yeah. So I got
Right.
a bunch of those last time. I do know that I picked those
And
up.
you can buy the holo slot machine. I remember I have that.
There's a
Oh, and,
Mako customization, a Theron
Right, and
Cedrex
there's a pretty
customization.
cool customization for HK51, which now everyone has if they listen to our show about how to get him.
That's right. And there's a Mako customization, which is great, except nobody has Mako right now. So that's, Mako's been gone for a year now. Anyway, so we'll have to deal with that separately. So yeah, I like the decorations as being part of this, and I will certainly be setting up this party floor in at least one of my strongholds, if not more, as well. Oh, here's my companions coming back, getting influence.
I think it would be best in the Drum and Cause stronghold.
Or the Nar Shaddaa one. Or just take
Yes,
the
I was
ship
being facetious.
take the ship pad like out there on the Yavin one, and just I've got the party patio in the back of my Yavin stronghold. That's where it's gonna go. I already have a slot machine out there that works.
Yeah, I mean, I hope
So there you go.
I hope you can put a bunch of them together too.
That would be really cool. So it goes in a floor hook, like a rug hook.
Yeah,
So it'll have to be an area that would have multiple rug hooks sort of back to back or adjacent.
right.
So we'll have to see how that works. So yeah, on the tips and on using stuff, there's still also the lucky buff, right? So
Yes.
what that is, well, go ahead. Why don't you explain what it is while I run over here and click on a machine, see if I get it.
When you put the smuggler's chip in the smuggler's slot machine, you get a chance of getting this buff, and it'll come up in red letters say "Feeling Lucky," and then when you have that buff, you have an increased chance of getting results for coins that you put in. So that's usually when I run over and put any kingpin tokens in the kingpin machine if I have any.
There I go. I just got feeling lucky. But right. So build up some blue tokens, build up some kingpin chips, and don't use your kingpin chips until you get the feeling lucky buff. It comes pretty often, so it's not like you're going to be sitting there for 15 minutes trying to get the buff.
Sadly, it does not stack. It just refreshes when you get it a second time if you still have the old one.
It does only last about 2 minutes. Did you just say that? It lasts only about 2 minutes. So use a couple of your kingpin chips, and once that is wearing off, then go back and do a couple more green ones to get it back again.
Right.
As Seema was alluding to at the beginning, you can run multiple machines at once. I often will stand sort of like on the side of 2 machines, or maybe in between 4 machines, and click. You got to click, wait for your global cooldown, and then you click the next one. And I usually do 3, sometimes 4 if I'm really working for a living. We're working hard at it. But you will burn through chips. You got to keep an eye out. And also, as I said, keep an eye out for building up those kingpin chips to go over to the other machines. What else, Seema? So have you been doing it some this week already?
Yeah. You mean, yes, I have been putting some chips in. I'm not a big spender when it comes to this, and I have a short attention span, so I don't do it for long bits of time, but I am motivated now because I want this dance floor.
I just got a
I might
golden
have to
certificate,
do.
but that's it.
Oh, damn you.
Those are relatively common. Those aren't that rare.
But I haven't gotten one yet this time.
So, and we do need quite a few of those for all of those decorations, don't we?
I do like the new things they've added, and I'm gonna have to do some Netflix and gambling.
Right. So if you're sort of set, when I'm doing that, I usually just stand on the side and only do 2 machines at once. Then I'll put Netflix on, and then I can just click back and forth. I would not recommend, which I have heard reports of, and I hope they're sort of cracking down, just because it impacts other players. I would not recommend using a bot and having your character run around and click a whole bunch of machines and step on other people and click the machines that other people are clicking because you're not watching. That's a little bit rude. So don't do that. It's also against terms of service. So you got that going for you. But you will need to be clicking quite a bit to get those golden certificates. The Kingpin's Rancor is 30 gold certificates. So that's quite a
That's a
bit.
lot.
The Vectron Magnus, but I've got the Opus and Magnus from last time, so I won't need that.
Yeah,
But
they
that's
were
15.
that you get more than one of those while you're trying to get the more rare. Yeah.
Right, right, right. So if you're going after the rare thing, like when I was going after the Rancor, I think I got a whole stack of Magnuses and Opuses. You also can purchase that pearlescent cruiser for 15 golden certificates. And then the decorations are quite a bit more reasonable. The party floor is 4. The bar and the mic stand are 2 certificates each, and the lights are each 1. So you will probably, I'm going to need a relatively big stack of golden certificates to get all the things I want. But I did get a bunch of that armor from last time. And weapons from the old set. There's a new set of armor, though, as well. So yeah, that nightlife socialite armor. Did you take a look at that, Seema? Check out what that looks like.
Mm-mm.
The dude version of it, I wasn't all that impressed with, but the girl version of it doesn't look too bad. It looks like an evening gown thing, but the dude version of it looks a little gladiatorish.
I don't like the side boob.
Oh, Amazon Echo is talking to me. I'm gonna set her name again. She would have spoken up.
I just want to say too, on the mounts and stuff, if you buy them directly, they are bind to legacy, so you can stand. Your gambler doesn't have to be the same character that you want to use the vehicle on.
That is a good tip. And the golden certificates are bound to legacy as well. So you could be passing those around. Maybe you have a character who's extra lucky. So
Yes.
because again, that's how statistics work.
Or maybe you just want to do it on your smuggler because that's how you roll.
And remember, if you have one of those lucky coins, which is a gray trash item, if you have one of those in your inventory, rumor has it, and this is a rumor I'm starting now because I saw people bamboozling other people, and tell all your friends that having one of those will get you a little extra luck also. So you might need to go grind some low-level mobs to try to get a gray lucky coin to drop. I actually have a stack of those in my legacy inventory. I, for some reason, got a kick out of those and have been collecting them, and people send them to me all the time. So I've got a pretty good stack going on. So I will go get those. Maybe that's why I didn't get the Rancor last time. I didn't have enough lucky coins in my inventory. All right. So good little rewards, little side diversion. Get your friends, have a little party in the casino, make use of the dance floor.
Dance.
It's not, it's not the most exciting event ever, but every time it comes around, people get a kick out of it and use it. And as I said, it's sort of terrible because you go and sit there and click slot machines for hours, but it's sort of awesome because it's making us want to sit there and go and click slot machines for hours. So they're doing something right. They've got that dopamine trigger that's going off and making us do it. And tricking you into having fun doing something that's actually boring is still you having fun. So there you go. Any last minute comments from you, Seema, before we just sign off for the night and go click some slot machines?
Just that I can't take my eyes off this dance floor. I've been watching it the whole time practically.
I know. This is, I think the verdict is in. This is the number one reward for the event this time around.
It's not just the dancing. It's like the flashing multicolored squares. I just love it.
Absolutely. And yeah, so that the ability is called Won't Stop. Won't Stop Dancing. I was hoping it would tell you, and it doesn't anywhere. I was hoping it would tell you what dance you're doing.
Yes, I would like that too, because a couple of them I would go buy. I'd never seen before, and I would go buy them.
So for people that aren't all that familiar with the dances, there's a whole inventory, a whole library of dances that have been slowly added to the game as emotes. And most of them have been in the cartel packs. So has, you probably don't have a lot of them. This dance floor looks like it has a whole bunch of the dances that it just will cycle through. So look, there's like 30 dances, 30, 35 so dances here. I'm trying to do a
Yeah.
quick eyeball. I only
Yeah,
have
a lot.
7, 8. I only have 8 of them myself. So yeah, that's pretty cool just to see your character doing a lot of those random dances. Then you can try to guess which they are. If you are in AIE, you can ask Apollos in Guild which dances they are. They are he's got almost all of them, so he can help you out.
Yeah. He's a dancing fool.
All right. I think with that, our 198. Oh, I'm getting all choked up. So with that, we can sign out so we can get our dance on, and our EPC 198 droid can shoot off in an escape pod and dance his way to get this podcast out to you. Thanks to everyone for joining us tonight on newoverlords.com, on iTunes, on YouTube, or live on Twitch. We will stream again next Thursday night on twitch.tv/newoverlords around 10:30 p.m. Central. Please follow us on Twitter @MaxTheGray and @AIESEMA. And come find us on Jedi Covenant and ask us for an AIE Guild invite. We would love to have you. And we'll talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.